ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now rocking with the best, the livest podcast you're ever going to watch. He's Luis LightYear Vargas. I'm Justin Show-Off Davis, and together we are The Light Show. So today we're going to break down the UFC 259 pay-per-view that just happened last weekend. Prelims were really good. Main card left something to be desired. We're going to dive into all of that stuff. Right now we're going to jump right in to our lock-in bets that we made. If you guys watched our episode 1 last week, we made guaranteed lock-in bets. One of us was correct. The other person chose with their heart instead of their mind. We're going to go with that one. And then we're going to talk about those sleeper fights. If you listened about the sleeper fights, both of them turned out to be amazing. We'll get into that as well as the fallout of the Aljo situation, Izzy. We're going to dive right into it. But first, let's start with those prelims, the lock-in bet. What do you guys say about your guy?
All right, man. So I just want to see my guaranteed pick. I'm a shout out to that dude. I can't really say his name, but the dude, turned out to be a beast. Just like I said, he came in, his striking was phenomenal. He pretty much just mauled that dude.
First round finish.
He was, he way outclassed him. He had no business being in there with that dude. That's all I gotta say.
So disrespectful.
And the thing I gotta say is, did you see how long it took the referee to stop that fight?
Yeah.
He took a beating.
Yeah.
It was bad. But hopefully, I know it's kind of a new show and stuff. You guys probably didn't really, watch it. But if you did, man, you could have made some money. Just saying.
It's kind of hard to watch those early prelims, but that was a domination.
It was a good fight.
For me, for my lock-in bet, I had picked Joseph Benavidez against Askar Askarov. Joseph Benavidez, I think he's pretty much done now. Obviously, I think I picked with my heart on that one. I wanted it to be a beautiful swan song and end of his career, but he just seemed a step slow that entire fight. Yeah. Askar Askarov, he's no slouch. Askar's he's a beast.
He was the number 3 ranked fighter.
Yeah, he was number 3, and Joseph was number 2. They obviously are probably going to flip-flop now, but Joseph Benavidez just had nothing for him from the very start. He was, to steal the word he just used, he was outclassed. He just couldn't adjust at all. His head was not moving off the center line. That's not the Joseph Benavidez that was a dynamo at WEC in the early, UFC days.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, Justin.
But now when you look at it now, yeah.
He did look a little bit older, I don't know, maybe just
too many wars.
And then the last two title fights that he kind of,
Maybe there could have been some gun shyness, but he just did not seem like he had any adjustments ready after he started to lose. Because typically, if you get dominated in the first round, you can see the wheels turning for 2 and 3. Like, okay, I keep getting caught with this. Let me move this, and then his coaches as well. Because as a fighter, when you're in there, you don't see everything. That's the reason why your coaches go in there, and those 60 seconds, they're telling you what to adjust, what they're saying that you aren't seeing. It just didn't seem like he had any kind of answer at all.
Go water and just...
yeah. All right,
and
tell me about your sleeper fight.
So the one that I thought that was going to be an amazing fight was obviously Dominic Cruz versus Kenny. And, man, I think it delivered. These guys put on a good war. It was a back-and-forth battle.
Pause that thought, because we have to go on to that one in a minute. So let me give you my sleeper fight first, which was the Tim Elliott versus Jordan Espinoza. And if we're talking about a fight...
Drama alert.
First off, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys were watching,
crazy.
It was the bloodiest fight of the night. So you're welcome if you tuned in for it, because it was an early prelim. And just the trash talking that Tim Elliott was doing to Jordan Espinoza while he was beating him.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, I don't know if we want to go into...
That's pretty bad. But there is obviously 2 sides to every story, as Espinoza kind of said. But
and ESPN was they actually started muting. They started muting out, and he wasn't really cursing that much, but what he was saying could not be repeated on the airways. You guys can Google it and search. We're trying to keep this. We might say some swear words and stuff like that, but it's still generally family friendly. And plus, it's an accusation against somebody. We're not going to dive into someone's personal life that hasn't been, found factual yet or anything like that. But Tim Elliott, just what a masterful beatdown. Like I said on episode 1, if you guys weren't listening, Tim Elliott is feeling disrespected. He was the underdog. He was the one that's ranked. He was the one coming off a victory. Jordan Espinoza was coming off of a loss.
2 losses or something.
And Tim Elliott was the underdog. That's just disrespect. Tim Elliott fought for a title against Demetrius Johnson before. He just got, bumped out of the top 10. He's going to be back in the top 10. It was just masterful. Even when Espinoza cut him open from the bottom, like Tim Elliott was just so...
Dude,
he was doing?
He was like a senior, knowing when he was literally putting his cut in that dude's eyes and rubbing it. And let me tell you guys, I got my nose busted my last fight, and I was on my back, so the blood was literally rushing into my eyes and in the back of my throat. Not fun. And I couldn't see, and it was all bad, But
Tim Elliott was a genius on that, and even Joe Rogan was commenting about how headbutting is illegal, but what Tim Elliott was doing was so smart. As long as you don't lift your head up, like rubbing your skull on them, pressing your skull against their skull and their head against the mat is perfectly legal as long as you don't lift your head up. So just grinding your head on them like this, if you don't lift your head up, is perfectly legal.
What I thought he was doing was leaning over so the blood drops into his eyes.
He was doing that as well, you saw him. He was also grinding his head
also
into
gross.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because those are one of those things that are just annoying. They're like rabbit punches, to where it's not technically hurting you, but it's just so annoying. And Tim Elliott just put on a masterful performance. That was my pick for sleeper fight, and boy, did it deliver tenfold. So I know that these were on the early prelims. That's the point of them being called sleeper fights, because they're ones that people typically aren't going to tune into. But if you watched them, you were in for a treat. Now let's get into that Dominic Cruz versus Casey Kenny fight. That was his sleeper pick, but it was also the feature prelim. It's what we kicked off our show with last week. Let's talk about Dom Cruz versus Casey Kenny.
And I thought it was a great fight, back and forth. I thought Dom had the first round, Kenny had the second, and then Dom came back, and he took the show over in the third. Just takedown, just knowing what to do, just knowing when to exert your energy was obviously, he's been there, he's been a champion for so long that he just knew how to act. So it was a really good fight. I'm happy I tuned in. Hopefully you guys were too. What do you think? How do you think that the fight turned out?
The entire time I was watching it, I was kind of in that mindset of, this guy's not even a ranked fighter. Like, so,
Kenny?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been doing good.
Yeah, but what I mean to say on that is, how would Dom do against the top 5?
Oh,
because he looked like he was struggling. He looked like he was struggling. Round 1, his footwork was still there. He was slipping and everything like that. But then it looked like Kenny got a hold of his timing, and then that's when he took over round 2. And then round 3, Dom just had to gut it out.
Dig deep.
But but the entire time I was just like, I don't know if Dom gets past the top 5 anymore.
He's monsters,
Yeah, I mean, he's a young 35, but because he hasn't been through that many wars and everything. But so I don't know what to attribute that to. Is it his layoff, or is it just has the game finally caught up to him?
Yeah, I think it caught up to him because, I mean, if you were really watching him, the way he moves obviously kind of weird, but he does a lot of lean over and then almost like hooking, almost like an arc type punch. And I mean, I don't think that's the most. Don't get me wrong. He's gotten so far with fighting the way he's fought. But I mean, now
it looks so elementary.
It does. It's such a new generation of fighting. There's so much new, stylistic matchups for him. It's not just how it was before. I think people are just evolving the sport, and it's like you gotta just evolve with it. If not, you're gonna get left behind. I mean, you can tell the age. I think that's what it was more than anything, just like his age. So,
where do you want to see him go next? I mean, that weird call out of the monsters.
That was another weird. That was more drama. That was weird.
Yeah, I didn't understand where that was. We're just gonna ignore that real quick, Dom. That was a weird post-fight interview. I don't know what you were doing with that one. But do you want
charity though? Hey, for charity. Hey, for charity.
Do you want to see him fight someone in the top 5? Do you want to see him or take another step, like a 13, 14 rank kind of guy?
Yeah, I'm not sure who the actual with the rankings are, but for sure not top 5. Not top 5, at least not right now. I know there are a lot of monsters in that division. Well, we had obviously the Aljo Peter fight and Sanhagen's there. We got TJ coming back. There's a lot of monsters that I think that right now, as it stands, I don't think Cruz would do that well with. But who knows? Everyone got a puncher's chance in there, and Dom obviously has experience, so he would know how to react when people throw things, and when he knows how to dip and dive. So I don't know. I mean, he is a world class.
So if you want to take a little glance, here's what we're looking at for the UFC rankings.
Yeah, killers. Oh yeah, Jose Aldo. That's why I want him to fight. Jose Aldo. I think that'd be a
so
great.
Jose's ranked number 10 right now.
I think that'd be a great fight.
A good fight to re-crack into the.
Yes, sir.
I mean, but Jose Aldo doesn't really have any wins.
Well, that's my point. That's my point. Aldo's a champ. He's a legend. And Dominic Cruz is also a legend. So why not have one of those kind of like everyone wanted that fight to happen a long time ago, never did. So why not now? I mean,
now follow me on this one. Here's where I'm going. For me, Dominic Cruz, it's two options. One, the guy who's ranked number 6 right above him, Cody Garbrandt. Because if you remember, Cody Garbrandt is the one that took the belt off of Dom in the first place.
I don't know.
And
Cody's a monster.
and Cody was supposed to get the flyweight title shot, but since they found out that Brandon Moreno was a beast and now he's getting the rematch, I doubt Cody wants to sit out for even longer. Plus, he is battling with the COVID. So Dominic Cruz ranked 7, Cody Garbrandt ranked 6. I think that fight would be great. Cody Garbrandt's the one that gave Dominic Cruz his first legitimate loss in the UFC and made it pretty much look easy. Or I would say Frankie Edgar, number 4, also coming off of a terrible loss, that flying knee knockout.
I mean, that was kind of like a freak accident.
Yeah. Like, I don't think Frankie's past his prime at all. The height difference was just so much that flying knee barely had to lift off the ground.
That would be a good fight.
That's what I'm thinking for him is. Because they're both legends too. Frankie Edgar versus Dominic Cruz. They're both, they've both been fighting for that long. Dominic Cruz was the WEC champ when Frankie was the UFC lightweight champion. So I think that fight would make a lot of sense too. That's where I'm going for Dominic Cruz, and that's to see if he can still do it. Moving on, let's start with the main card: Santos versus Rakic. That was.
It was one of those because you were expecting fireworks.
Yeah,
and they definitely didn't deliver.
That's the reason why they were going to kick off the pay-per-view is they wanted it to start with a bang, and we didn't get that at all. But where does Santos go from here? That's 3 straight losses now.
Yeah, I don't know. See, 205 is one of those divisions where it's like it used to be a powerhouse division where everyone was a killer.
Long time ago.
But, I mean, ever since Jones was like, I've already kind of handled everyone here, and he moved up. I think it'd be a good fight. Santos fighting the one that John Jones just lost to. I'm blanking on his name for whatever reason.
John Jones was lost?
Yeah, everyone thought he won.
Oh, Dominic Reyes.
There you go, Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes, just because Dominic Reyes obviously coming off of a loss, 2 losses, right?
2 losses.
And
1 and a half.
Three losses. So, I mean, I think that's just to kind of get back to see who's like, I guess, 4 or 5,
They're both still top 5, so that person would still stay in the title contention. A lot of things opened up since John Jones has stepped away from the belt, so there are a lot of fresh matchups now. So a road back to a title belt isn't that hard. Yeah. But it's just, for Santos, 3 straight losses, you might want to see him not change camps, because I do believe you ride with the ones that got you there, but maybe take a step back.
Stop playing grab ass with his girlfriend, I think. I'm just kidding. No, I would be playing grab ass too, I just saying.
He needs to refocus, I think, and just find out, what that missing piece is, or if he lost some of his aggression. He has that big Mjolnir, that Thor hammer on his chest, and
it's pretty badass.
It is, but he's not acting like it anymore.
Do you think it's because he was gun shy as well? Like, I don't know. Do you think his knees took that? Because he hasn't been the same really. Like, even though his knees were gone and he fought John Jones like a beast, I mean, the fight after was kind of like, he lost, and then. Again, man.
But that was more so because.
Do you think he was just gun shy this fight, or do you think it was?
I don't think it was gun shy because he was throwing when he was going against.
No. Against homeboy Glover.
Yeah, against Glover Teixeira, he was throwing. He just got submitted, got taken down, got submitted. He was throwing, but this one, I don't know. I don't want to say it was gun shy. Maybe he got tagged really good, and then he just couldn't feel it. This is one of those ones you just can't really explain like what happened or why this fight wasn't like what you expected. Kind of like what the Izzy versus Yo Romero. Like you just can't. You can't put your finger on like why is this fight going this way when nothing in their history proves that a fight like this would go that way.
True.
But it was one of those ones where you don't want to rewatch it. You're not gonna rewatch it. It's not gonna be.
I wouldn't.
It's not gonna be memorable. Next fight, Islam, Drew Dober.
That one happened, the way we thought it was going to happen. For the most part, people were saying, "Oh, his striking, he's going to, show off his striking," but he just, did what he did best, and he took him down and he ground pounded.
Yeah, he has great trips.
Strong.
A lot of people like to compare him to Habib, but Habib is like single to double and double to single and then drag you down. But Islam has strong trips. Like that's more so his takedown game.
Do you think he cracks top 5 or still no? Top 7 then? I mean, because I know that's
Did you see his Twitter back and forth with RDA?
Oh no.
Yeah,
is that who he wants to fight?
Yeah, because RDA called him out. Like, why are we praising him? He hasn't beat a top ranked guy. So that's
they were supposed to fight, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 times and
so RDA is
good.
calling for it. Islam's calling for it. I think that's the fight that really needs to happen next to show if Islam is for real. Drew Dober, looked like he was finally over that hump. He had won 3 straight, but I mean, just couldn't stop the takedowns. I mean, I don't know where he goes from here either. Yeah. He was always trying to call out top 10 guys. Now he just has a loss. He's back to probably fighting debuters.
15.
Yeah, I mean,
And it sucks because, I mean, Islam is a beast. So, like, for you to fight a guy who probably should be in the top 10. I would say
he should have been in the top 10.
But he wasn't, and so he took a chance because he wanted to be the guy that took out the next Khabib.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously it didn't pan out that way. And it's funny because he said, I know I wanted to strike, but I just did what I felt comfortable with. And just took him down. It works, man. A win was a win. It wasn't like super impressive. We're not like, oh, that's the next Khabib for sure. But I mean, who knows if next fight comes out and he mauls RDA? Because then I'll be impressed. Because RDA is, a world champion.
Former world champion. Fought in 2 divisions. RDA is definitely a credible name for him to.
Real quick, fun fact. I guess I shouldn't really say it though. So.
Thank you for that.
And Santa Ana, shout out Santa Ana, state champ, babe. His son was actually on the team.
Who?
RDA's son.
Oh.
Yeah. But he quit though. And
so that was a pointless.
I didn't
thing.
bully him. I thought it was a fun fact. I wrestled with his son. He was a good kid. And then he quit. Well, yeah. I mean, it's just a fun fact. I just throwing it out there. I don't know. I kind of made him quit, Justin.
Anyway, moving on. I'm pretty sure we can get through this next fight in less than 60 seconds because the fight was less than 60 seconds, I believe. Amanda smashed Megan Anderson.
I mean, did you expect anything different?
Yeah, I mean,
if you look at the girls she's lost to, Felicia and Holly Holm, I mean, if you're losing to them, you think you're gonna come out and you're gonna fight the GOAT.
I know you're not gonna disrespect Holly Holm like that, man. Come on now.
I mean, she's good. She's good. But I mean, no.
The entire fight, it just looked like Megan's eyes were wide. Her eyes were wide open. She towered over Amanda. She had
I know she was 6 feet.
She had the reach. She had everything over Amanda, and it just looked like she was so timid to throw anything. And then after Amanda cracked her with one shot, you just saw like she was out of it. Like, I don't mean out of it like she had a concussion. I mean mentally she was just like, this. I do not want to be in here anymore. And there was nothing she could do. It was.
And the way she got trapped on that was kind of weird, right?
It didn't look like she defended at all the second it hit the ground. She was just laying there waiting for it. It was one of those times where you can tell when a fighter is waiting for a ref to intervene.
Oh, for sure.
Like, because when she was getting pounded, those shots they were clean shots, but they weren't. She wasn't knocked out. Yeah. She wasn't trying to move though. She was just like, "All right, ref, come on, ref. No, all right." It's just like she was just sitting there waiting for the ref to. It
wasn't like my boy Uros or whatever in that prelim
fight.
Yeah. That was on the floor just getting hit. Right. That was bad. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. That was bad. But anyways, yeah. So that was it.
Shout out to Amanda. I mean, she is the GOAT.
Shout out to Amanda.
I don't know what she's has next. I mean, there's no parity, I would say, at that featherweight division. At the bantamweight division, she has challengers because Juliana Pena, she's waiting, and that's been my girl. Juliana Pena has been my girl.
She's saying, oh, Amanda's afraid because she's never fought a wrestler and this and that and a grappler, and like, she's a black belt. What are you talking about? She'll destroy her on the floor. Did you see that Pena's last fight? It was not that
Juliana
impressive.
Pena
She
has
won.
been my girl for
Not that
a
impressive.
while. I am excited for Juliana Pena to get that shot, and I think she's going to do it. But I do believe the person with the best chance is Valentina Shevchenko, but she's a natural 125er, the bullet. That's why she's the champ there. Arguably, she beat Amanda twice when they fought. Arguably, you know, the fans are pretty split on that 50-50, depending on how you grade takedowns, because Amanda was getting pieced up on the feet. So it's kind of, it's kind of however you want to grade that one. But it looks like Amanda's next fight will be against Juliana Pena at 135. And then from there, I mean, you would think retirement.
Do you think they're just going to close the 145 division?
I mean, at this point, you kind of have to.
I mean,
they even said...
Not only is there no one ranked other than the champ, but, like, who's she going to fight? Who are they going to bring in to fight her?
And honestly, if you were at bantamweight and you were on, like, a 4-fight losing streak, I would just say, let me go up to featherweight, and you'll probably get a title shot. That's all you have to do.
They're saying she should just fight guys, you know, like she's that much of a beast. Well, you know that she doesn't spar with girls, like when she's.
They said that about Ronda too, and then look at the downslide she went on.
Well, that's.
I'm just
her
saying.
striking isn't, the same. But okay. Anyways.
Yeah, let's get off that fight. I mean, what happened? What happened?
Well, I guess we kind of skipped the first title fight. We went straight to the man, but it's all good. So, Sterling.
This one is.
That's the one that's. What'd you think? What are your thoughts? I'm interested.
I can't even put into words anymore. This is why I like that we're doing the recap, a few days removed, so we can see the fallout. If we would have gave you an instant reaction, I'm sure.
Like, oh shit!
I'm sure my response would be different because I know how I was thinking that night to what I'm thinking now. Look, it was an illegal knee. It was illegal.
It was.
You can break it down in the different factors and everything, but bottom line, it was illegal. Some people are saying language barrier. Jan speaks Russian. His English is kind of, he's picking it up, but it is kind of broken. So when the ref told him he's a downed fighter, don't throw a knee, did he understand?
What isn't it his job to know?
I'm just playing devil's advocate and saying no matter what, it was illegal. And then you have Khabib saying that he looked to his corner and his corner said, hit him.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean, hey, throw a fucking knee.
I'm just saying, we have to play devil's advocate.
Okay, true.
No matter what,
true.
People are saying the title shouldn't change hands like that. That's the reason why you have rules. Like, that is the reason why the rules are in place. So if it wasn't for a title, would you still disqualify Jan? Your answer is yes, right? Would you give Aljo the win? The answer is yes. But because the belt's on the line, you're like, oh, well, maybe we should look at it. Maybe you should fight. Yeah, like, the rules are in place for a reason. Like, I think Chael Sonnen said it beautifully. He was like, if the rules of the belt not changing hands weren't in place, then every champion would cheat on purpose. Just cheat. You're going to keep the belt. Just cheat and get the hell out of there. And I think when Chael Sonnen said that, it made the most sense. There has to be a consequence whether you're a champion or not.
You know what I think should have an alternative, I guess?
What?
Obviously, they're saying you should just do a vacant belt, but as long as Aljo gets the money, the win money, because he was saying he doesn't want the belt because he felt like
we'll get into that in a minute because that's what he said, but
True.
Now his actions are a little bit different. But you grade it off of the referee's idea of was it intentional or not. So people that don't understand the MMA rules, like, oh, why did he get the belt? It's based off of intent. So if it was deemed accidental, like say Aljo was flirting with the knee, like up, down, and then got caught with the knee, that's accidental. Fight would have been stopped. So if it was no title on the line, it would just been a no contest. Title belt on the line, they would have went to the judge's scorecard up until that point, 4 rounds. So it looked like from what they read off the scorecards, Jan would have won. But if it's deemed intentional, which is what the referee deemed it as, means he did it on purpose. Whether you guys want to say later on it was an accident or not, the referee deemed in that moment he did this on purpose. I told him do not strike him, and he did it anyway. That's intent. So the belt changes hands. So that's the difference. If you guys didn't understand the MMA rules, that's the reason why the belt switched hands. Aljo, I thought handled it like he's supposed to. I mean, you saw he was tore up.
He was dazed for sure.
Yeah. I don't like that people are trashing him like, oh, he deserves an Oscar. He sold it. I even saw Big John McCarthy and Josh Thompson on their podcast saying, oh, he milked it because he could hear the ref saying that, he did it on purpose.
He was saying that Joe Rogan, he hear Joe Rogan. And,
yeah, but then the ref whispered to the doctor, and he's like, oh, you're not supposed to say that at all, blah, blah, blah. I have my own issues with Big John McCarthy.
John was saying more so that it was a ref's fault.
Yeah, but he did say that Aljo was overselling it. Well, I have my own issues with Big John.
What do you do though? I mean, really, what do you do? Okay, maybe I could fight, but then if you're already like concussed and you get hit again, like it's just going to be an even more embarrassing loss.
Exactly.
Then you're going to get knocked out.
And people kept trying to compare him to Anthony Smith when John Jones threw an illegal strike, and Anthony Smith could have been the champion. He could have just been a champion, but no, but you get your ass whipped even more, and then like, oh yeah, you're a real tough guy. You have a heart. Yeah,
what is that?
Yeah. I can also leave with the belt. I can also leave with the belt, get the pay-per-view points, get the pay-per-view money, and the rematch will be even bigger because John Jones now has another loss. I don't want to say that Aljo was going through all that. Here's my only issue with the Aljo situation. It happened after the event. His friends were all with him, his family was with him. You saw him throw the belt down in the cage and he didn't want it, but then later on it's starting to be posted on Instagram Live and all this other stuff. He's taking shots with it, having the belt on his shoulder, and then you see, like, I think it's his brother or his cousin went up to him and was like, I want to hear you say it. Come on, let me hear you say it. Let me hear you say it. And Aljo's just like, I'm the UFC world champion. And then everyone's, like, oh, man, that's a bad look, man.
But look, that's not him because he's not the one that's jumping on the couch, on the counter saying I'm the fuck,
Yeah.
It's his family. Obviously, if you say, for example, if you had a fight and that was your belt, right? And you won by the other guy getting DQ'd. I'm still gonna be like, dude, you're the champ, man. Yeah. You're the champ. Justin, who cares, man? You got the So it's his family that was like trying to push him to
shake the funk of it and everything.
A little bit, lighten the spirit. What is he gonna be like? No, F you guys, get out of here. I'm not the champ. No, I mean you want to have a good time. Like something horrible just happened, so it's like you gotta make the best of it. That's the way I kind of look at it. And the thing I do want to point out, and this is where I'm like, oof, man, good thing he took that win. So the difference is $100,000. Realistically, because obviously if you guys don't know, a lot of fighters, they get fight money and then they get win money, right? So if anything, Aljo's just going to get $100,000 to fight, right? And if he lost, that's it. He would just got the $100,000 and the incentive. But because he is a champion, he got the additional 100. So he got $200,000 for that fight. I mean, would you get up that second? I mean, I'm sure that wasn't what was going through his head. But at the end of the day, that's $100,000 you just made from being smart and not getting up.
Did you actually hear the interview that he gave?
No, which one? With Joe Rogan?
I think it was with not with Joe Rogan. I think it was with Ariel Helwani, where he said, all these things were going through my mind about. Me being champion, pay-per-view points and stuff.
How do you think that was like a, 2 minutes on the floor? You can't be thinking about all that. That's something after, you say that after.
Saying that you were thinking that while you were lying on the ground?
So bad.
Exactly. That's what, like, you're making yourself look horrible. It's just one of those things.
Don't say that.
Yeah, it's just like, bro, just shut up. Like, just shut up. Say, I couldn't think of anything because I had a concussion because this dude cheated and hit me in the head. Yeah.
If I say, for example, if I get hit in the nuts or if I, get illegally kneed in practice, I'm not thinking, oh man, like anything other than this shit hurts.
Yeah.
If it's a real like incident, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, oh damn, that shit sucked. Not, man, what can I be doing later on? Or you're not thinking about anything else other than the moment. So I don't know. I think he was just saying that for the interview, and that's just how you respond to it.
That was still such a bad like keep your mouth shut.
That's pretty bad.
Saying I was lying there on the ground thinking about, oh, what if I never get a title shot again?
That one.
He was saying that, like, I know I was down on the judges' scorecards. I might not get the shot again. You know, this is my chance to be a champion and win pay-per-view points. Like, shut the up! Like, why are you saying this out loud?
He's gonna have to fight again.
Yeah, you know, but this time he will get a champion's purse and pay-per-view points. But that him giving that interview makes him sound so terrible. This is why I'm glad we're doing the recap now, because there's a little bit of a fallout. Him saying that just made no damn sense. Shut up, and you're the champ, and just let it go.
And the memes are hilarious right now.
And then him posing with Henry Cejudo.
That looked bad, but they looked like they were friends though. You saw like they were like laughing and like giggling and stuff.
It seemed
fake.
like I don't know.
And then it's funny how it's like
it's also Henry Cejudo's trying to stay relevant.
It's like Henry. No one wants to watch that fight.
Yeah.
Realistically, I love him as a fighter. He's a fucking He was a youngest wrestling Olympic gold medalist, so shout out to Henry. But yeah, man, come on. Like,
he's trying to stay relevant, kind of like what Floyd does every once in a while, where you say, "Oh, I'm gonna fight so and so." It's just like you're not gonna come back, Henry. Just let it go. But Aljo's saying he's gonna go against him, or then T.J. Dillashaw, chiming in on both of them. Calling Peter Yan a cheat. Oh, you're a cheat just like me. Like, no, you were taking illegal substances. They're kind of completely different.
Yeah.
And then calling Aljo, the Oscar goes to blah, blah, blah. Like, TJ, this is not your time to talk either, because you are a legit cheater. So, and then they talk about intent. That's pure intent, because you were cycling through
one day.
You were cycling through things, which is your intent. So, I mean, that whole 135 division, it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. Obviously, Aljo versus Yan is going to be the rematch. But what if Aljo wins this rematch? I mean, would you say since Yan was winning the first one, do they do a rubber match? Or, it's just, it really gets weird because TJ's still waiting in the ring.
I feel bad for Corey.
Oh,
that dude for sure deserves the next fight.
Yeah, that's true too.
But he might fight TJ.
Yeah.
And that'd be okay. I wouldn't mind because that is a big fight.
Corey versus TJ.
That'd be a good fight.
I think that is the one they said that they're in the works on making, because TJ obviously wants to get back to a title shot. I'm glad Dana stuck to his guns and said that TJ does not get an immediate title shot coming off of cheating like that.
Corey does deserve that title shot. But
Corey does, but I mean,
it'd be a good fight though. I mean,
I think he was gonna get it if the Aljo and Yan had a clean ending, but since it doesn't, this does make sense. Aljo versus Yan, and then Corey versus TJ. Ooh, if they did that as the co-main event, and then the main event, that'd be a good event. I don't know about how much pay-per-view sales it would do, because I think only hardcore fans really care. I don't think the casual fans would care. But I mean, even if you put it on live TV on ESPN Plus, like that'd be at least 8 million or like a 9.7 million views. I think that'd be a big event. Anything else on that fight? I mean, I'm just disappointed how Aljo handled it on the fallout. I was perfectly fine with everything that night. Other than that, I mean, that interview was just stupid. Damn it, Aljo. Damn you, Aljo.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm glad he got that win because I had him on a bunch of parlays.
I did too, though. Aljo was about to. Actually, let's talk about that fight prior to the knee, because I want to give some light on that. We haven't done that. Aljo went out guns blazing. I think a pure adrenaline dump, which was dumb, but he took that first round because he took the center of the cage, popping that jab. He was striking. Peter Yan was doing nothing but covering up. Yeah. But Aljo blew that. He blew his load.
And he had his wrestling. He had nothing for him. Like
and Aljo, an All-American wrestler, looked like he couldn't. He couldn't get any wrestling going.
And then Peter just like every time he wanted to take him down,
it was like a trip. It was this foot sweep.
That slam, that
one that dropped him on his head.
Oh, that shit was clean.
Yeah.
You could just tell the strength difference. He looked.
It was a strength. It was a strength difference, but I do think Aljo blew his load in that first round. Because you saw it in rounds 2 and 3, he was huffing and puffing. He just didn't have it anymore. And it was just like, wow, you really adrenaline dumped that first round. That's why you gotta. If you guys ever watched a video I posted on Snapchat and Instagram that I listened to Aaliyah rock the boat literally before I walk out.
This is OnlyFans type of.
Literally before I walk out, it's because my heart rate always goes up before a fight. So that helps regulate me. It's like something that's calm, soothing. That way I don't peak like that. Like, you see what Aljo did? That's what happens when your adrenaline spikes, because that crash is detrimental. It didn't look like he was ever going to get a second win. Because once Peter Yan realized that he was gassing, he started just putting it on him, and he wasn't letting up.
Yeah.
So maybe in the rematch, Aljo still controls the center in round 1, but he doesn't exert so much energy in the beginning that he stays a little bit calm. That's an easy fix you watch, with your coaches when you're breaking down film. You could be like, I know that I jumped out the gate because I was trying to get him out of there.
And to be honest, like, the more I kind of really try to think about it, it's more of a blur just because of that knee. It kind of just...
Yeah, you kind of forget about what happened in the beginning.
I thought, obviously, Peter was winning the fight, and if, like you said, if the judges' scorecard was going to determine who was going to be the winner, I for sure know that...
Yan was going to win.
Yeah, Yan was going to win.
But I mean, like, Aljo won the first round, then he lost 2 and 3. 4 was getting close, but he was probably losing 4. But
well, I mean, just look at the position he was in when he got knee. It was like
it was a sprawl. It was a sprawl, and then Peter Yan had him.
It was really weird.
And then
it was really weird. I mean, it's one of those things where you don't ever want to be in that position fighting.
It looked like Aljo was trying to catch his breath, because once the shot didn't work, you're supposed to just push off, stand up, and then reshoot or do something. But he was just content being on his knee, and it just that was just weird. You could tell he was trying to catch his breath or something, trying to get a little break, and then that knee almost broke his face.
Yeah, that's bad. But yeah, that's really all I got about that. Just hopefully the rubber match is a lot better. That's
the rematch, not the rubber match.
Did you want to actually watch that fight again, or watch him fight?
Oh yeah, I wholeheartedly believe in an adrenaline dump, and that's what I think Aljo did. I don't think that Peter Yan outclasses Aljo every single time. I don't believe that, because I've seen Aljo fight at a peak level. That when I was watching it live, round 1, I was like, damn, Aljo's really trying to get him out of it. He's trying to get him out of there in round 1, but it didn't seem.
Do you mean as in him coming in, taking down his opponents and then submitting them, or do you think just...
No, he puts the pressure on them and then watches them kind of wilt.
Okay.
And so he never ends up really gassing, because he can go into cruise control. Okay. But Peter Yan, he was blocking the whole time, so I'm sure Aljo thought, oh, I'm too much for him. And then round 2 and 3, Yan started getting loose, and then Aljo was just like, wait, okay, shoot.
Yeah.
Damn, didn't work.
Yep.
Shoot. Damn, didn't work. Strike. No. It just didn't look like Aljo had anything after that. And if you guys know, wrestling is the most tiring part of MMA. Not striking. Jiu-jitsu, you can kind of rest if you know how to hold a position, but wrestling is the most tiring thing. A failed shot is so taxing on your body, because you exert so much energy in your arms. And I just do not think that Aljo went in there thinking Peter Yan would be able to stop his takedowns, but I think going into this rematch, I think he'd be able to finally be like, okay, let's maybe cruise this first round instead of putting everything into it. It is a 5-round fight.
True.
But I think let's get
ready for the main event. Man, that one, I guess everyone was kind of shocked just because of how it played out.
I was more so shocked by the judges' scorecards.
Yeah. There
were all 49s and
45, right? 45.
Yeah, well, I mean, there were a couple of 10-8s, which made sense. I agree with the 10-8s for maybe 4 for round 4, definitely round 5. But 49s mean that you only gave 1 round to Izzy. I gave at least 2. I gave at least 2 rounds to Izzy. Yeah, I thought Izzy at least won rounds 1 and 2.
Man, I was on the edge of my seat to be honest, because there were some of those punches I was like, ooh, but you know what? He took it on.
He took every single Polish pride. There was no mark on his face afterwards.
I do think that had to do with size, because he's a beast at 85, but coming up to 205, those were some big.
Without putting on the muscle, which is why as much of a John hater I get called, John's going heavyweight the right way. He's not just, I'm just not going to have to cut weight for lightweight or for light heavyweight. No, he's just like, I'm actually going to put on muscle. Yeah, I'm going to put on muscle and develop my body. And now he probably won't be able to go back to light heavyweight. The amount of muscle that he's putting on. So Izzy didn't want to do that because he still wants to cut to 185. So that's why he was just going to go in there naturally at whatever he weighed. And that was a detriment to him. Because Jan, in round 4 and 5, just went to the restaurant. Like we said, Izzy has an 86% takedown defense, but that's at middleweight. Jan, 52% takedowns, but he only takes one a fight. But
yeah, I was gonna say, even I thought the grappling was gonna be a big part of it, and I think not so much the grappling, but just the holding him down.
Yeah, I was gonna say there wasn't much grappling. It was position. Position. And the second he got him down, and some of the shots, the first shot that he took him down with was beautiful. He caught Izzy swinging, and he ducked right under and took him down with a double. That was beautiful, and that's textbook when someone overcommits on a strike. But from then on out, it was just from rounds 4 and 5. There was just no chance for Izzy. He just did not know how to get up. Every once in a while, he put his feet on the hips, and then Jan was shrugging it off. You saw him go for an arm bar for like 1 or 2 times, and then Jan just brushed it off. I think Izzy thought that Jan was gonna wrestle him early, and when he didn't, he just kind of got comfortable on the feet, and then round 4 and 5 just completely surprised him with the takedowns.
Just too heavy, he couldn't get up, and I mean, he didn't really look like he was trying to like in a panic to get up. You know how usually, usually like you're in a panic and you're like, when you're comfortable on your back, when you're comfortable on the floor, I think you're a little bit more relaxed. Like Tony Ferguson's the type of guy that's going to be on his back
because he's working different submissions and
But Izzy seemed more like, oh shit, I'm stuck.
Yeah, you know? He looked like he doesn't know how to scramble off of his back
with a bigger, and especially not on like in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're against the fence, it's a little bit easier because you can kick off. And
not to disrespect Izzy, because he does do a great job of scrambling against Kelvin Gastelum, but the size difference. I mean, talking about Kelvin, who probably walked in at 190 in their fight. Jan was weighing at least 225. Yeah. So there's a big difference there. Does this nix the him versus Jones fight for you?
Oh yeah, John Jones would destroy him, and I always thought he would. But this just puts the nail in the coffin for me. This just shows me that if John Jones, because we all know that when John Jones is serious about a fight, he's a monster. You know, whenever he fights somebody in this when they fight again, when he fights the second time, he always comes out and blows the opponents out of the water. And I think he would have been serious about training for Izzy, and I think he would have just destroyed him. To be honest, what do you think?
Striking wise, I would always still give it to Izzy. I think
John
Izzy,
Jones is a monster. He's a monster.
Striking wise, I think I would give it to Izzy no matter what. I mean, you can't ignore his kickboxing and his Muay Thai, level. I mean, it's just his striking credentials are just way better than Jones. But John Jones is a junior college champion. I mean, an amazing wrestler. The simple takedowns that Jan was getting on Izzy, which weren't really great technical takedowns. They were great timing takedowns. 2 different things. Izzy could not stand John Jones clinching with him and then taking him down. Because Izzy, he's not very strong lower half. He even said his legs were dead by rounds 4 and 5. So he couldn't sprawl out or anything like that. John Jones being Greco-Roman, John Jones doesn't blast doubles or anything like that. He gets you on the clinch. He'll find a way to take you down like that. And Izzy it does not look like Izzy would have the answer for the size of John Jones to take him down. Like, that's why I would not want to see that fight anymore, because the size was a factor. I believed Izzy when he said, I don't need size to beat John Jones. I can outstrike. All that you believe, and then you hear 86% takedown defense. Oh, he got taken down. He gets right back up. Yeah. But now you see him going against someone who's actually at that weight, actually at that size. Nah, Izzy. I'm sorry.
So then, my thought is, so you think he'd piece him up on the feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you think he'd be able to knock him out, or just piece him up points? Because with Jan, don't you think that if he was able to knock him out, he would have?
No, because if you look at post-fight, Jan is the only person that has marks on his face. Like, it was swollen up here. His nose was a little swollen right here too.
Like too messed up though. I mean, compared to like previous fights that Adesanya has.
Well, Jan wasn't putting himself in too much harm's way. Yeah, Izzy had the reach. True. And Izzy had he had the good distance on the snap jab, so Jan wasn't throwing himself in harm's way.
I was watching Jan with some of those nasty jabs, man. He was hitting.
Oh, he had a couple. He had a couple of nice stiff jabs. Yeah. The smart thing was the leg kicks. He was doing that early, would set up the rounds 4 and 5 takedowns. Which Izzy said by rounds 4 and 5, his legs were kind of shot. They were dead. But also probably because he hasn't fought that heavy in a long time. But I do think if Izzy and Jones had maybe just a straight kickboxing fight, I think Izzy would piece him up. I don't think John Jones would be able to win that fight. But in MMA, Jones probably gets him out of there in 1.5, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Two if Izzy is 2 because Izzy has the heart.
I just see John Jones' elbows as a big factor, especially ground and pound on the floor. Just killer.
Anything else on that main event? I do have to say Jones trolling Izzy after the fight. I mean, on Jones's own Instagram, like even the fans, his fans, people that are like loyal John Jones fans are like, bro, like Izzy lives rent free in your head. Like this. At least he dared. Sure. He's dared to try to move up weight and everything like that.
Jones.
He picked his time.
And Izzy didn't. Izzy went up when John Jones was like, I'm going to heavyweight, and then Izzy's like, I'm going to 205.
Go back and watch Izzy's first interview. Izzy said, I'm going to go. Quick pause, so I know where to edit.
Don't edit this out. That's Mark's boyfriend that I have on my Snapchat. John Jones.
Izzy.
John Jones and Izzy. I don't remember, to be honest. That was funny.
Izzy said all along, 2021, I'll be moving up to light heavyweight. So the fact that Jones went up to heavyweight makes no never mind at that point. Because that's when Izzy said he was going to do it. But like I said, I think with John trolling Izzy, he should be focused on the heavyweight title. Because that date is set. Stipe versus Ngannou. And if Ngannou wins, I mean, that's a thick boy. That is a thick boy. And I don't think Jones wants any part of that power.
He's going to just take him down and just ground and pound him, I think.
You have to get close to do that.
Yeah.
And remember, it's like I said, it's Greco-Roman. He's not a folk style or freestyle. He's Greco. So he needs to get in with that clinch to execute his style.
I'm calling it now. John Jones by a flying knee. He's gonna win like that.
Moving on. It's just, I mean, John Jones trolling Izzy after a loss is just, I thought that was very childish, Especially because Izzy didn't want to do any press about John Jones leading into the fight. Like, even on First Take, when they tried to ask him about John Jones, he's like, I don't want to talk about him. I'm focused on this fight, blah, blah, blah.
Smart.
And then John Jones just trolling him. Like, even his own fans were just like, Izzy lives rent-free in your head. Like, respect to him. He went all 5 rounds. Like, Jan Blachowicz been knocking everybody out. And Izzy went all 5 rounds. Did Jan do enough to prove that he is the best at light heavyweight?
I mean, it's kind of hard because you can't really say you're when John Jones is the one that left.
He's not going back, though.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
Let's live in a world without John Jones. Did he look like he was the best?
That night he did, but at the same time, when you see who he's fighting next,
Glover Teixeira, baby.
You go, damn, he has a chance to win. He's a beast. His submission game is really good, and if he takes you down,
and he has the power.
But if that Polish power just clips him, because I think
Glover's
a little bit older, and
Glover's only got knocked out by Rumble Johnson, and no one gets up from a Rumble Johnson knockout.
Rumble Johnson and Polish power, I would say, are about even.
You are tripping. You are tripping.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, just watching the last couple fights that he's been having. I mean, he has some power in his fucking hands.
Yeah, but he knocked out Luke Rockhold, who, no offense, has no chin because he got knocked out by Bisping.
And that's pretty bad. And then that nasty knee by Romero.
Yeah.
That was a bad one, but that was so long ago. But anyways, I think
Rumble Johnson
I mean,
and Ngannou are the two hardest hitters in MMA history.
I think he did do enough to establish his name as the
best
undisputed champion for now.
Let's take a look at those rankings, though, because obviously Dominic Reyes just lost, and then you also have Santos, who just lost. So let's see what else we got right there. Who else is? Okay, we obviously said Glover's going to be next, but if Rakic, the one who just beat Santos, yeah, he's there. I'm trying to think if there are any other fresh contenders that are there.
Light heavyweight. I mean, not in the top 10. I don't think. There's like a couple in the top 15. The guy that I really like is what's his name? No, I guess he's not even on there. I remember when Johnny Walker was the next big thing.
He's number 13 now.
Yeah,
Johnny Walker was the next big thing.
Here, scroll it. I think he might. Is there? Man, okay, never mind. That's a lot higher than I would expect.
Sorry, we're just trying. We're just looking at the rank. I'm gonna put the rankings up so you guys know what we're looking at.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no one really that stands out that's gonna be,
there's
powerhouse.
There's no one that really just grabs your attention, really.
Not even anybody in the top 10. I mean, what's his name? Vulcan is decent.
Vulcan Ostermeyer, but he just lost his last fight.
Oh yeah, that guy's coming up. I haven't really watched that guy fight. I don't even know how to say it. Jiri
Procha.
Yeah, that guy.
Sorry, we're sorry, sir.
I mean, there's really, and that's what I'm saying. You know what?
That's the reason why this
is the time where Bellator might have the better lightweight division. I mean, they got some
better light heavyweight division. I am definitely looking forward to their tournament.
We good.
I mean, I'm pretty much. I think Rumble's going to win the whole thing.
Rumble.
I'm pretty sure Rumble's going to win the whole thing.
Well, I don't know, man. He hasn't been fighting. Hey, I seen him in like 2019. That dude was like huge. He was like 250, just built like a brick shit house. But yeah, I don't know. But I hate going against Romero. Romero's my dude.
Yeah, but he's a middleweight though.
Yeah, he is. But he's a beast. I don't know.
That's true.
He's a beast, man. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it with that main card. I think there's not much more we can really talk about in that regard.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
So,
anyways, so man, what you been up to? You planning on fighting anytime soon? You planning on working out anytime soon? What's going on in your life, Justin? We want to know. Us, the fans, everyone wants to know what's up. Because every time I talk to somebody and I mention your name, they always say, "Oh, when's he fighting? When's Shaw fighting? When's Justin fighting?" And to that I go, I don't know.
Well,
July.
First off,
he said.
I am. Well, we still have to wait for California to reopen.
No, you don't have to fight in California.
hey! I'm not leaving
travel
off the comfort of my home state for my big pro debut. Okay.
Oh, you're gonna jump straight to pro?
I'm not doing no goddamn Emmys, man.
I thought you were gonna do heavyweight Emmy. That'd be nice.
Actually, if it was for Emmy, no, for amateur, I wouldn't mind doing a heavy like that.
That'd be fun.
But I don't think there's any, definitely not in California. None of those are open. Camel's definitely shut down. Yeah, I definitely still see fighting in my future. My daughter's been bringing that up to me because she loves watching my old videos and stuff like that. So she definitely wants to see me.
Do you ever show her fights with me? Man, I was there for the birth of your daughter.
Only if I'm there in the corner. Oh, you see me? No. I'm right there. You see me hold the bucket.
The fight where you're like jumping up and down. And you're as excited as I am. My first title fight in amateurs. That was a good moment.
That was a special moment.
That was such a long time ago. I think he jumped higher than I did when I won that fight.
I thought the judges were gonna screw us on that one. I did not see that victory happening. Although round 3 was pretty close, but yeah, you will definitely see me fighting again. Still with Dark Horse, we are still with Dark Horse. We got to build that team up though. A lot of people are timid of coming back because of COVID. We are being very COVID safe, but the state is starting to reopen again. Gyms are reopening all throughout California again now, so you can definitely make that push for it. I found my motivation like last year.
Thank you, buddy.
When I was training with him day in, day out, getting him ready for his fight, and then after the fight, he just kind of stopped going. So then I was just like, then I lost my motivation. It's never good to be motivated by somebody else, blah, blah, blah. But I know myself personally, and I need another force with me to stay motivated. And if he's not there, then I don't feel.
That's why it's called the Light Show, baby.
Exactly. But as long as he's there, I'm going to be right there. We'll both be fighting this year. Because, like I said, California's reopening a lot right now. So we should be good to go. But when is your next fight that you're planning on doing?
Man, honestly, I want to make there's some big changes coming. I definitely want to fight at least once this year. If I can squeeze 2 in, man, I'm ready because I'm hungrier than ever. I really, my last 2 fights have just been, just disappointment, I guess. My last fight I fought versus a very, very tough opponent. This dude he's a beast. Team out of Team Alpha Male. I think he's like 6-0, 5-0. He's in Bellator. He's like one of their, I think, rising stars or whatnot. But dude's a beast. He's great wrestling credentials. Strong as all hell. He was holding me down. I couldn't really do nothing, but on the feet, I was trying to piece him up. I definitely think that. I used to be I'm a wrestler at heart, but I definitely think my hands have gotten so much better. I just need to put everything together, just being smarter about when to do certain things, not just to rush in, because how you get that urge just to like just go in there guns blazing and just try to knock somebody out. That's what I've been trying to do, and I think I definitely need to take it down a notch and just be smarter, just to have the higher fight IQ that I know I have, and I definitely think I can get out of the rut that I'm in, because man, I really think that I could make it. In the UFC, it's just going to take me a little bit longer. But hey, man, look at the champion.
Jan Blachowicz started on UFC 2-4, and then went on a tear. It's kind of like the same story RDA had. He would win 2, lose 1, lose 2, and then win 1 to save his job, and then he went on a tear and became the lightweight champion. So it's really just never giving up on yourself. Honestly, it's not so much about what the people around you say. If they have your best interest at heart and they're joking with you, then that's just the relationship you guys have. But if someone's just negative all the time, like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, then you don't have anything to prove to them or to anybody else, any naysayer. You're moving at your pace. Do it the way you want to, but do it. That's all that matters. Okay. So follow your dreams. We will be fighting. I promise you, I will be fighting. He'll be back as well. Anything else we want to touch on?
No, just follow your dreams. Is that what you just said?
Thank you.
No, just don't ever take no for an answer. If you believe in yourself and you have a dream, just keep going. There's always going to be somebody that has your back, but at the same time, there's always going to be somebody that's always trying to pull you down or trying to discourage you from doing something. And the sad part is that it might be someone close to you. Someone that
watch out for those coattail friends. Those are the ones who will be there around you the entire time, but talking trash behind your back, or even giving you subtle jabs to your face. But then as soon as if you actually crack it and you actually make it, then they're the ones that are like, oh, I was here with you the whole time, man. I always believed in you, like. You were there.
Yeah, the guy's always in your pictures. In the corner, but then if you lose, he's like, I don't want to take that picture. Yeah. We all have those people in our lives. You just got to kind of just brush them away. You got to be smart. You got to make changes. Like I've been trying to eat healthy. Shout out to my girlfriend. She's been helping me out. I try to not eat as bad as I do. I've been working out. Shout out to Mark, because I've been working out with him, just lifting weights, just trying to get back in that in that rhythm, actually working out and stuff. It's just hard. So I work grades at the hospital, so I work from 11 to 7:30 at night, and so like today, I still haven't slept, and so it's just one of those things that you just gotta kind of figure it out by yourself in your brain, like how you're gonna plan it out and how you're actually gonna plan to succeed. If not, you're never gonna put it together, and it's just gonna be oh man, what if I changed this, or what if I did that? And you don't want to live like that. You want to be able to say that, hey, I did everything I could to reach my dream. With that being said, excuse me, yeah, just follow your dreams. Don't let anyone say anything other than you can do it.
All right. This is not our official episode 2. This was just a recap. We will be hitting you with an episode 2 where we'll be talking about whores, hoes, and OnlyFans. Where do you stand on the subject? We will dive into all this in our next official episode, which will be episode 2. But until next time, he is Luis LightYear Vargas. I am Justin Show Off Davis. Welcome to the Light Show.